afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you're tuning in from. Welcome back to the channel. My name is SFM. Welcome also to the end of season awards here on season 2, as this has been a pretty crazy season and also an amazing start to our first division football. And also, that standout moment it is the Bulgarian Cup winner. We would never expected to win the cup this early on, and we've gone and done it. So today we can reflect on a job well done this season as they defied expectations and won the Bulgarian Cup, as I've said. Let's relive the standout moments in one of the best sporting underdog stories of the year. And I think that's something that really has stand out, is this: we are most definitely underdogs. We were big underdogs within that Bulgarian Cup. And, obviously I've calmed down now, but I think that was one of the best achievements, I think, so far on this save. I really do. I think it's huge, obviously, with its financial implications, and obviously with going into the European Cup. It's number 2. It's the UEFA Cup 2, whatever it is, but it's still going to generate us some money. And I think we as a club, obviously, to take us forward, we're going to be relying a lot on youth players and also with free contracts and free transfers. But I feel like it has just been an incredible season. And, I think the aims for next season, in season 3, are most definitely, I think for myself, is to finish in a top half, sort of try and challenge for that championship group. Also go again, and also, if we can get into that championship group, go for Europe again. And also, I think we have to try and defend this cup. We've won it once. We've proven that we can beat CSK Sofia. And I don't know if it had been the same with Ludogorets, but, it's been a fantastic achievement. And I'd also like to say as well, with CSK Sofia winning the Bulgarian Championship, so if we go to the Bulgarian First League, obviously it's been so previously dominated by Ludogorets. So they've done what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 in a row. And CSK Sofia have finally put an end to that by winning the championship after quite a few, barren years without not, going and winning the title. They've constantly been there as a thorn in the backside of Ludogorets, but Ludogorets have always won it. Well, that's just a little bit of information, just some good sort of feel good memories, as I don't really like Ludogorets. I think and a lot of fans in Bulgaria don't really like Ludogorets, as they're a team that has sort of just come up through buying the league. Let's see the end of season review here with Lokomotiv Sofia, the Railwaymen. And here we go, the new arrivals. And may I say that some of these arrivals were absolutely monumental for the reasons that we have won the cup, and also, the reason why we're in such a good sort of position with the league. It is because of these two players. Preslav Borokov, who came in and has done 35 appearances, 23 goals and 7 assists. This player has been phenomenal, and he's a target man. He wasn't even playing as a poacher or an advanced forward. He was a target man on support. His role was to build, to bring in players to the game, and also to rely and provide goal scoring opportunities for Papazov. And he's done that, and he's gone and get himself 19 goals in the league, a 7.20 average rating. But overall, in 35 appearances, he scored 23 goals, 7 assists in all competition, a 7.19 overall rating, which is just an absolutely incredible statistic. And also, the fact is that we've got this player on a contract. He's here till 2024, where I can renew his contract and give him a better pay. But yeah, I think it's absolutely incredible that he's here in this position, and hopefully he can continue with us, because I don't really want him to go if he's giving us those sorts of numbers. And next up we have Marko Papazov, the 18-year-old, the 17-year-old when he joined. He had 29 appearances, 1 substitute, 16 goals and 6 assists, coming in at a 7.05 average rating. He's just been absolutely fantastic. Him and Borokov have really sort of developed with each other and also created a real key partnership. So I think I extended Papazov's loan till the end of next season, I believe, if I go on contract info. So yeah, his loan ends not this season, it'll end next season. So we've got him for 2 seasons here at Lokomotiv Sofia, which is absolutely fantastic, because he is world class for this league. I think he's just absolutely brilliant. No, I wouldn't say world class, but he's Bulgarian class. There you go. Yeah, it's just fantastic to have him along. He was playing out in the league. He's played fantastic. 25 appearances, 13 goals, 5 assists, 4 player of the matches, and a 7.06. Also remembering that he is 17. You know, he was 17 when he came in, and he's now 18. And his strong point isn't even striking. It isn't even being in up front. It is literally being a winger. So he is fantastic. He's developed absolutely brilliantly for this club, and I'm just so glad that we've got this player because he's so quick as well, and there's so many times where he's beaten the last defender, and gone through and scored. So he's absolutely fantastic. And here we go. So another arrival was Kirchev, the centre back, who's been solid all season. Ventislas Kirchev, he came in on a free from Botev, and at the age of 24, he's just been absolutely solid at the back, which is brilliant, and I'm really happy. And also, he's got a really quite a good release fee clause, as shown. It's 300k, so if ever anyone wants him, or like one of the bigger clubs comes in to purchase him, they've got to pay quite a substantial amount for our club's size, which is brilliant. And then the next one, as I said, is Dimitar Ilev. He comes in, and he came in on loan and played pretty much every game. And it's good to see that we'll be having him on a free transfer from Ludogorets. He's on a bit of money there, but hopefully our wage budget will go up this season. And I'm just really happy that he's come in and played some fantastic football. And he's on that wing. I think he was on left back. He's just been real pivotal in defensive work and also attackive work. Only getting 1 assist this season, but playing at a 6.9, and even with just those statistics, that's absolutely fantastic. And now the next one was Stoev. He comes in, and I'm not too sure if that was Stoev or Kirchev. I can't remember who it was, but one of the players I just can't stand. I'm not too sure who it was. Was it? No, it wasn't, was it? No, I think Stoev has been actually fairly decent. If I have a look on his stats. Oh, it might have been Stoev. Yeah, so I do think it was Stoev who's been, not a great defender for us this season. He's been giving up too many mistakes and too many errors. That's probably why he's at a 6.88. I think he had something like 2 or 3 mistakes leading to goals, which, when you're trying, obviously it doesn't sound like a lot each season, but, that could potentially win you games, and we can't have that sort of defending going on. I know he's only 22, so we'll keep him in the club, and hopefully I might even send him out on loan next season. I'm not too sure, but he comes in. I think he was pretty solid apart from those errors. I just feel like if you're obviously trying to go on a title race, you can't really, or just try and push for the top half. You've got to have consistency, and I'm not too sure that Milan really is as consistent as Kirchev, because Kirchev's just been fantastic. And now onto the next player, we have Ilian Dai. He comes in as he was a 32-year-old, and to be fair, he was solid. He came in, he did the job whenever need be, and he goes away. I'm probably going to terminate his contract at the end of this season, but he goes away with a Bulgarian Cup medal because he played that final game in defence. And he's just been solid all round. He's a good 32-year-old. If his contract doesn't end, I'm not too sure if it does. Let's have a look. If I go on contract info, so his contract's expiring, and his contract's expiring this season. So I think I'm probably gonna have to let him go at 32. So hopefully he goes on, and I think some other clubs will pick him up. But he's been a real sort of workhorse, and it'll be a shame to see him go, but just not that quality to push us potentially to the next level. And now on to the next one, we have Bastanov, who's been, I'd say, not a great sort of fullback. He's been sort of just used off the bench, and obviously he's played in games when there's been injuries to, I think it was, who is it? I keep forgetting who plays our, it was Petkov, isn't it? Yeah, Petkov's our main player, but this is so with full on the right. Bustanov's our best player. Wow. I think the issue with Bustanov is that he's been very sort of injury prone. And I think hopefully, next season he can potentially go and because he's only 23, that's the thing we've got to consider here. And he is a player for the future. I don't think he's had a real issue this season, but I need people on that right back role that can sort of have an immediate impact. And I think that's where I need to sort of look this season in terms of players. So he comes in and he was pretty good. He was pretty solid. And now here's Pedro Lago, and he's had a bit of a difficult season this year. The 24-year-old, he's fairly decent. Like, there's nothing really saying that he doesn't have quality, because he does. It's just he's not. He hasn't proven himself, I think, and I think I might just keep him here until his contract ends, and maybe next season he may turn out to be fantastic. But I think just hopefully he can really sort of push forward into this team, and be the player that I brought him in for, which is that sort of attacking quality, and also providing goal scoring opportunities for players, which he hasn't really done, because he's got that vision to do. But unfortunately, yeah, he just hasn't proven that. And now we go on to sort of the youngsters who came in, who have just sort of sat out, and who've just developed realistically in the development squad. And if I go on loans out, we can take a look at some of the loans here. And Valentin Nikov, he's been all right, to be fair. He's an attacking midfielder, and he's done pretty well, to be fair. 37 appearances, 6 goals, 6 assists, 6.77. As an 18-year-old, in the First Division League, and playing for a team that's not, I think they got relegated this season, so for them it's not great. But in terms of his development, it's fantastic, and to see him actually scoring some goals is perfect, and it's good to see. And the next player that I loaned out was Manuel Ivanov. He went out on loan as a sort of striker. I put him as an advanced forward. As a 31 appearances and 4 off the bench, he scored 11 goals and 2 assists at a 6.68. So he went above 10 goals this season. So it's all right. It's not great, but at the end of the day, he pulled his weight and actually scored some goals for a team where they were also in a relegation fight. I'm not too sure where these teams ended up. So let's have a look. Svelo, he ended up 17th for the league. If I go league tables, Svelov. Oh my goodness me, and Svedka. Oh, so here we are. We can have a look at this actually. So who won the? So Minor Pernik are coming up next season. Sazosspor came up. Arda are in the playoffs. Etar are still down. Who else is a big shock? Botev. Botev aren't even coming up, which is a real sort of shock if you think about it. Also, Septim Sofia, they have a fantastic youth facilities, I think. Yeah, excellent youth recruitment, so they might get raided this summer during the transfers. So going back out to the loans area, and also there was another player who went out on loan, that was Luka Inavov. He went out to the team that just survived relegation in Svetskila. I think that's how I don't even know how you say it, so I'm just going to call it that and just go with it. He made 27 appearances and 1 off substitution, and playing at a 6.3 average rating, so not really the greatest. He didn't even have any assists or any sort of goals towards that name. So unfortunately, he's not really sort of a developing player, so I might try and sell him out next season. So I don't think you'll be really seeing much of him. And Tsenim Starev didn't even make any appearances for Cluj in the Romanian First League, I think that was. I had to loan him back. I had to terminate his loan, so he came back in and obviously was sat as a reserve goalkeeper. But I'll send him out on loan next season. So here we go. The season results. Let's see what this is. So let's have a look at the Bulgarian First League. Obviously, we finished up in 8th position, sort of mid-table, I'd say. And we never really hit a sort of good run of form. And I think that was the issue. I think there was times where obviously tactics weren't working, and then we'd have Ludogorets and Sofia, and then we'd have this awful run of games. So our best sort of run of form realistically came at the very beginning, I'd say, when it was sort of this patch here. But as you can see, every patch where we won, there were issues where we lost. So it was a strange season, to say the least, and we couldn't really hit a good run of form. But in the end of the day, we got over the line, and then there was the special Bulgarian Cup Run where, when we first started, obviously we played Botev and we beat them 3-0. That was an absolutely fantastic game. And then, we got drawn against CSK Sofia, and I thought, maybe this is a bit of an ask. I think we had lost the previous game 6-0, and I absolutely lost it. But we then went on and beat them. We went really defensive in that game and won that game 0-0. We drew 0-0, and then went on to penalties and won 4-2 on penalties. Then we went into Montana in the quarterfinals. We beat them very comfortably 2-0, I have to admit. And then the semi-final came along, and Barui, we drew with them in their first game, and then we went 2-0 up, and then I bottled it, and it went 2-2. But we went through on away goals, and then there we are. We went into the final against Chernomore, and we won it 1-0. And Papazov, he scored in the first minute, and he was just unbelievable. He is truly, I think he has to go down as a real sort of club icon this season, and just a player being brought in on loan that can change a game as much as he did in every sort of game that we played. There were times when he'd come on, score, and it would just be completely changed, and we'd go on and win some of the games. So this was just an incredible. So let's read what they said. So obviously, Lokomotiv Sofia were one of the competition's more unpredictable teams, enjoying an impressive spell of form during September and October that saw them rise to 5th, having sunk as low as 14th earlier in the campaign that ultimately ended them with exceeding expectations. And with the competition top goal scorer, it was Borokov. So that's a pretty amazing thing to see, which was very, very. That's a bit of a shock, actually. I didn't realise that. But anyway, so let's go on to the moments to remember. So our biggest win was against Litex, obviously, because I think Litex went straight back down. A match to remember was the Chernomore game, and the goal of the season was Papazov. A marvellous goal from the on-loan CSK Sofia left winger as he dribbles the ball past his own half before scoring an accurate finish. I can't bring that down, but let's go on to the finances and let's see what has changed here. So obviously we've gone up a bit in club reputation. Our sponsorship deal has now gone up to $500,000, just over $500,000. Broadcast revenues have gone up to 300k, just over 300k, I'd say. Corporate and hospitality have gone up. Everything's pretty much gone up, which is fantastic. Total merchandise sales have gone up. And 481 jerseys were sold, with Burokov, Steph, Kirchev, Stanchev, and Lagoa being sold, the top ones that were. And if we go on to how you've lined up, I think it'll probably be a 4-4-2. Yes, it is. And the Lokomotiv Sofia's best 11 is Papazov up front, Burokov, Stanchev on the left wing, and Stefan Vlad controlling the midfield. These players have been with us for, I think Vlad and Steph have been here since day one. Secondly, comes straight back up and goes into the first division. Obviously, he won the Bulgarian second league and won the Bulgarian Cup. He says he's leading second league quality. I don't think he is. I think Steph and Vlad are Premier League, well, I don't know what to call it, First Division League quality. And Pedro was on the left. Ilev was on the full-back in defend, I think, on the right. Stoev and Kirchev, those players were really sort of the reason why we sort of stayed up. Not really Stoev, because there were times when he made real errors, but you can let it slide as he's only 22. And Petkov is on the right-hand side, on the left-hand side, sorry. And he was playing defend as well. And then Vassal, obviously Vassal's he's been there all season. He had 30, I think he played every single game this season, which is quite incredible. So there we are. Obviously the tactic was 4-4-2, and the style is the Railwaymen. So obviously that's we rotated the team a fair amount this season. However, our key players played a major role in how this season turned out. So there we are, guys. And let's go on to the accolades this season. So if we have a look here, your hard work and effort paid off on the pitch, and a feat didn't go unrewarded at our end of season awards ceremony. So fans' player of the season was Preslav Borokov, and he was also young player of the season. Signing off the season and goal of the season goes to Papazov. Let's have a look down here. So top goal scorer was Preslav Borokov. He was 19 goals, and he was the most assists as well. Wow. And the most player of the matches. Guys, a Borokov special here. Highest rating average was Borokov. Gee whiz. He record breaker. Most goals in a season. Most league goals in a season. Vassal now. The only change here. Most shutouts by a player in a season was Vassal in goal. He was brilliant for us this season. Another Preslav Borokov player of the match awards. And youngest ever goal scorer was obviously Papazov, and the oldest goal scorer was Todorov. Wow, I did not know that. So any competition awards? Nope. And history in the making. it was incredible. You know, we won the Bulgarian Cup, and there's nothing that they can say. So perfect. But there we are. That's finished that up. That is our end of season awards done here for season 2. And let's go on to what they want us to do next season. Obviously, play defensively, play defensively solid soccer, play possession soccer, high tempo pressing football, and make the most of set pieces and work within a payroll budget, which is absolutely fine. First league, they want us mid-table, whereas I want to sort of push for a top half finish this next season. And for the Euro Cup 2, they want us to reach the 3rd qualifying round, which I think we can do. I think those are achievable expectations. So I'm going to accept the current vision. And obviously the end of season meetings and achievement awards. So I'm going to say we deserve and finish in the top 6 places. Oh, it's unrealistic. Right, okay, mid-table then. Right, everyone's happy. Good account of ourselves in the UEFA Cup 2 or whatever it is. And that's exactly... And yeah, there we go. Everyone's done for pre-season. And new season reports obviously coming through. Squad end of break, Bulgarian First League Player of the Round, and Bulgarian First League Team of the Round. I'm not too sure what that means. But yeah, if I go to the analyst's performance, so what has the analyst actually thought of us this season? So obviously here we have the statistical outlook of the whole season. So tackles won ratio was 76.56%. So that's not bad, but it could be a little bit better. And pass completion ratio was 88.60. Shots on target is very low, to be fair. 43% of all shots were on target, which isn't great. 9.5 shots per game. Expected goals against is 1.45. So a goal per game was expected and conceded was 1.6. And we barely even get over the one goal a game ratio. Expected goals, but goals per game were pretty much nearly 1.5. So in terms of the overall statistics, it looks good for us. I think it does, and it is sort of more of a sort of not rounded performance, I think. And there were issues where we didn't have the sort of best start in terms of our tactic. It wasn't really working. I think we're playing a 5-3-2 when I first started this season of season 2. But there we are. That was our sort of overall look in terms of this season. And if we go on to the XG, oh wow! So our XG was XG position is 10th. We had an expected goals of 33.9 points. I haven't got a clue what this means, but they are. If anyone likes that sort of stuff. So actual goals was 44, actual points, so actual position was second. And if we look at our defensive efficiency, we were busy and impenetrable, which is good to see. Obviously, we conceded fewer goals than would be expected from the number of shots we faced. So that's good to see. And also, our attacking efficiency was passive and clinical. We are more clinical than a lot of other teams, which was very good to see, as I think that's just due to the fact of us having a target man and a poacher. I think the poacher really with Papazov, really took his chances there. But overall, I think that's everything that needed to be discussed in terms of our next season. I don't think they've given us any sort of additional... I'll see if I can fast forward. So if there's anything that comes up, I'll fast forward and show you on video. But apart from that, that was everything I think that I needed to discuss. I don't know if we get given this. Well, I think that was everything. So I think that's going to tick off the season 2 and hopefully on to episode 1 of season 3. Can you believe it? We're in season 3 now. And that will start with a transfer special and the first game, whoever we play, the first game of the episode on season 3. And hopefully in that episode, we will have 3D footage for you, and which is something I'm really actually excited about, because obviously I've had to change to a different computer, and hopefully it just makes it a bit more interesting for you guys, and we can see some of these players in action a bit more and a bit more up close. So thank you to everyone who has joined in, and also to everyone watching this video. Please give it a like and also subscribe to the channel if you're brand new. hit that notification bell so every time I upload, you guys know when it is. So without a doubt, thank you again, and I will see you all in Season 3, Episode 1. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.